So, we are currently waiting in the lobby for the matches to start. And, well, first, let me welcome you back to Monday morning quarterback Apex edition with the little twist that I think things are a little bit better this time, and we got a little bit more cohesiveness this time, or maybe it's just Apex being nice to us. Either way, I think things may have went a little bit better this time than they did the last time. But as we are preparing for our match, or our second game, I believe, second or third game, I can't remember. Either way, I just want to make a note for programming purposes that a WrestleMania series specifically focused on WrestleMania will be starting very soon, and it'll be separated or separate from the news videos and more or less focused on WrestleMania to allow plans within Roman Reigns, The Rock, and Austin, and Cena, Logan Paul, etc., to be focused on as opposed to meshed together and easily lost within a series about within a series like the news videos. Either way, we are about to drop. I am actually playing with my cousins this time. Last time it was just one cousin. Now it's both. Now it's two cousins. So it's a little bit different as we pick where we go. And now that I actually paid attention in the probably give or take 2 hours that I spent playing Apex last night, I know a little bit better the perfect spots to go in Broken Moon on this map. So I did learn a little bit, and I do feel a little bit more comfortable playing Apex. I'm just not the best when it comes to dropping. Still, need practice, blah, 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 blah. And I think this is one of those times where we may have picked, ran out of choices and picked where we could, but not really the best spot. I don't know. I did what I did there to just see if I could see anybody. I know I wasted a second that I think, from what I remember, will come back to bite me, looking to see if I could see anybody instead of looking for a gun. Because that's what I'm going to be spending at least the early part of this game doing. And right here, I find people, back up, turn around, and run the opposite way. I actually remember now, this is when I am told by one of my teammates to watch my back because the people are running, I'm running right to them, so I start running away from them. And then my teammate is in a fight now, and he's wondering where the heck I went, and that's when I say I had to go get a gun, because I had no gun. As you guys saw, I had no gun, so there was no way for me to actually fight with my team. I end up picking up a 30-30 repeater because I don't like 30-30s, but at least it gave me something to fight with. And this is actually when my teammate wonders where the heck I ended up and wondering why I'm not with him anymore. And now I'm with my other teammate as we start fighting those that are scattered around. And you forget or you don't realize how much of a confidence boost actually hitting shots when you're playing the game is. Which, I don't usually hit shots, but I've been hit, especially with the Mozam. I was hitting a few shots here and there with the Mozam last night. So I was happy with the Mozam and actually with the Volt. Which usually the Mozam and the Volt are two. I mean, the Mozam is usually a gun that I hit with as we knock down our first guy, and I actually get the kill, which is a rare sight. And it's not me insulting myself, it's me telling the truth. I don't usually get kills, I usually get killed. And I think I do make the decision to switch out and get the Volt instead. This is when I switch out and get the Volt instead because... Oh no, I get the alternator. I didn't get the... Or did I get the Volt? No, I still get the 30-30 repeater. Because I think there was more ammo for the alternator than there was for the Volt. So instead of taking the less ammo with the energy weapon, even though I was more comfortable last night with the Volt, I ended up with the alternator instead. But, I don't necessarily think, oh, is this when I. Yeah, this is when I switched. That's what it was. I switched out the Mozam for. I switched out the Mozam for the alternator, and I picked up. That's a Havoc rifle. Is it not? But guns aside, the one mistake I think we made a few times last night was holding out for the storm, and maybe chancing it a little bit too often with the storm. It didn't really hamper us, and I actually played well as Octane for the most part. The one problem that I still have, is not using the passive or the ultimate as much as I should. That's one of the problems. I know it's crazy because of the game that we play, that the one problem that I have is not using the ultimate or basically my Legends abilities as often as I should, not really paying attention as often as I should. But we did actually have multiple good games throughout the night last night, and it it was a perk. In this game, I think specifically I do somewhat often use the jump pad from Octane, which is his ultimate, more often than I normally do, because that's one of the reasons why I stopped being Wraith. It's like, you want to be Wraith because you like her ability, but if you're not going to use her ability, why be her? You know what I mean? And that's actually when I took the wrong zip line, but it actually benefited me in the long run because I was able to come up from a different direction as my team got in a fight. I was able to come up in a different direction. Is this when they got in the fight? I think this is when they got in the fight. Because I think they go left, I go right, and I come up separate from my team, which benefited me because it wasn't all of us on top of each other. I do also use the speed from Octane a little bit more often, and I honestly did not realize that I got hit because that's one of the reasons why I'm still not healing. It's because I didn't realize I got hit, which I've been yelled at multiple times by multiple different people. Here comes incoming for the team, for the other team against my team. They're coming in on the zip line and me informing them coming in on the zip line. And then that's when I cut right. Here's when I cut right. But I've been yelled at multiple times by multiple different people to pay more attention to healing because I am guilty of not paying enough attention to it. And this is when I try and play the role of they don't know that I'm here. So let's stay hidden. And this is when I actually realized that I got hit earlier and needed to heal up a little bit. The one thing that I was adjusting to last round or this game was having a seer on my team because, I don't play as seer. I don't even have seer unlocked. I don't think so. So I don't really play with seers or as seer. So I'm learning that, how seer does his ability like Bloodhound does, because when you see the pyramid, I know that's a seer pyramid, but I'm just not used to seeing it on my team. And this is when I switch it from the Havoc because I had more ammo on the alternator, so I figured that the better scope should be on the alternator as opposed to the Havoc. And this is when I whiff on a lot of the shots, but at least I know where the people are. Because a lot of the guilt, I should have saved that thermite though. The thermite was completely worthless, and I think that a teammate even said, "You're not going to make it with that throw." But at least normally I don't know where the people are. Normally I don't know where the people are, so actually knowing where the people are is, part of the fun because that's one of the reasons why they play. One of the reasons why I usually get, schooled by people. It's because people, if you don't know where the people are, it's kind of hard to shoot them. You know, and this is when I realized that my teammates are not with me anymore, and we moved on. And here comes incoming on the first mistake, and something that I would do differently. I ping the shield cells just in case because I think one of my teammates may have mentioned not having shield cells. So I do play as a good teammate. This using this might be better, but if you look, of course I point without the webcam on. The the arc star ended up on one of the beams, and that's actually what I was talking about. One of the first mistake, I got caught on the door. I got caught on the door, and that's what ended up killing me. Yes, they shot me in the air because I didn't even realize the jump pad was there, to be honest with you. This is when they thought that they were moving up. But I got caught in the door, and this is when I'm telling my teammates I got caught in the door, and it was a bad time to get caught in the door because I didn't realize the door was behind me. Because 90% of the time, the doors open in, they don't open out. But also, when you leave, the doors open out. When you go in, the doors open in. So what I should have did was corrected the doors, or not stood where I stood. Lesson learned. But now we got to run into where the people just were, because the zone's coming, and we are approaching the end of the game. From what I remember, if this is the game that I'm thinking of, I could be wrong, but if this is the game that I'm thinking of, we're approaching the end of the game. But this is what I mean. It's not like the last time we did this, because this time we're actually, I'm playing better. My teammates know what, like everything just seems like it's running a little bit more smooth. But it's like I've been told many a time by many different people. Some nights Apex gives you good things, and some nights Apex can make you hate the game and wish you'd played anything else. And this is when I get asked, "Do you have the jump pad?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Well, throw it, Octane." And here comes another mistake. Top of the rock. I should have stayed behind the house. We knew people were there, but we didn't know where they were, and I should have stayed behind the house, because had I stayed behind the house and healed where I had cover, and that it would have been in front of me, and instead of moving up like I did, I wouldn't have been hit by those people, so I wouldn't have put myself in that position and put my team behind the 8 ball like they are right now. They do try and fight valiantly, but we were caught off guard by these people and weren't expecting this big a fight in such a condensed space. So if I would have done, I'm not saying it was my fault that my team lost. I'm saying I made the mistake, and because I got knocked, it sparked the fight because the other team pushed us. So had I not done what I did, we probably still would have been pushed, but we may have been able to handle it in a better way. And the reason why you saw the camera flash on is because I was trying to figure out why my camera was on, which apparently my camera turns on when I play Apex. I don't know why. But now we are, which is also the reason why we're still in this position. It's because I am doing outside things and I don't have the game open, which maybe prompts me cutting this footage, but I don't know. I did get a treasure pack, and that's always good. Treasure packs are always good. But we are on our way to our next round, and I thought that that last game was a different game, but it turned out that it wasn't the game that I thought it was, which is never fun because you mix up the games, and the game that I thought it was made me look good, so I wanted that game to be a part of this, but I'm not sure if that's maybe the next video that I'm thinking of because I do think I was recording for that game, but I also may not have been recording at all. But either way, we're going into this one, and I gotta say, from my standpoint, from a novice Apex player, I do thoroughly enjoy Broken Moon, and I think Broken Moon is one of the better new maps, or the better new map. I like it a lot better than the last new map, which was Storm Point. I mean, I don't necessarily understand the amount of hate that Storm Point gets, but I don't disagree with it. And now, as you see, I changed to Mirage, and Mirage turns to my favorite character for that night. Mirage is not my main, but it was one of my backups. Horizon's usually my main, but I was playing... I mean, even though I was playing Octane, or I played Octane relatively decently, and the only way to learn is to actually play the other people, so I probably should have stayed as Octane there to get more accustomed to playing Octane and learning when the right time is to drop the pad and not drop the pad, save it, use it, yada yada yada, like I did with Mirage, where, use the decoys, don't use the decoys, use the ultimate, etc. But, the main standpoint is, it is a learning experience, and that's something that I really never took into account of it being a learning experience, because it's not that I don't believe that Apex is a learned, like getting good at Apex is a learned trait. It's that I just never really, I don't want to say cared to invest the time, but never really took it into account how to learn and what to correct and what to do differently. Because, well, I just played the game. I never really played the game to get better. I just played the game. You know what I mean? Because I didn't play enough to think I would get better. I guess it's the best way to put it. And now we're learning. I believe this is one of the better places to land, because if you see in a later video, you will see that it is actually a solid place to land. And usually the place where we land when I did my second session last night, I don't usually feel comfortable with the L-Star, but I've been yelled at also, or been told having a gun is better than not having a gun. So, sweet alternator skin, by the way. Even though I'm not confident with the Sentinel or snipers in general, so I usually pick up guns or shoot for guns that I'm confident with. Otherwise, there's no point in me even fighting, because if I'm not confident with the weapon, I'm easily going to go down. And you see that I try to get the supplies there through the wall because I thought it was close enough through the wall that you could collect it, but clearly that's not the case. And clearly I feel more comfortable with a Mozam than I do, or I thought I would, but I guess I chose to keep the L-Star, and, well, it was probably the lack of ammo. Because even if I am more comfortable with the Mozam than I am the L-Star, I thought ammo, and here's where my first mistake was, I was warned about it, and I went too far out. I was warned about it, and I went too far out. I was warned that people were around, and I went too far out. Which drew my partner out. I should have turned around, went back, and let them come to us, as opposed to us going to them, because there it is. And that was my first mistake. I should have stayed back where you got to stay back where there's cover, and not go wide open. Because you go wide open, you're asking, unless you have the drop on them, and know that you will take them down, there's no way, shape, or form for you to be able to sit there and say that you are the one that is going to, that you're going to handle that. You know what I mean? There's no way you can handle that unless you have the drop on them, which I didn't. But either way, if you do enjoy content like this, let me know down in the comment section below, because this is it for me for now. Until next time, I will see you soon.